everybody. Welcome to another episode of For You From Eve. We have an amazing guest episode today. I'm so excited. If you guys have been following me on my socials, you guys know I've been in my gut health journey recently, and we're going to dive all into it today. We're going to talk all things gut, wellness, well-being, and even just mindset health as well. So today I have Hannah Aylward.
Yep.
Today I have Hannah Aylward. We were practicing this offline for a little bit, but I'm really bad at pronunciation. Nonetheless, I want you to introduce yourself, talk to us about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and I also want to talk about your life in New York a little bit and now living in North Carolina. I think that's a big adjustment, especially in the wellness world. So let's talk all about you and what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm Hannah Aylward. I am the CEO and founder of Healin, and at Healin, we really help women overcome chronic digestive issues by taking a root cause approach to repairing and addressing and transforming the gut, really. So I have a whole team of functionally trained practitioners. We've been doing this for many years now. I'd say between all of us, we have like 20, 25 plus years of experience, and I really got into this because I had my own chronic digestive issues. I think a lot of people that get into this kind of work are failed by the traditional Western medical system and then have to go searching and digging. And that was me. I mean, I was like the girl that ate healthier than all of our friends, and I exercised, and I was like using non-toxic products at like 18 years old. And I would still look 6 months pregnant after eating anything. And I just knew something else had to be going on because I was like eating healthy whole foods. I was trying to eat organic when I could. I wasn't eating gluten. I wasn't eating dairy. I wasn't eating sugar, but I was still looking 6 months pregnant with bloating and dealing with constipation and food sensitivities and what you can imagine, like a lot of food fear comes with that too, and a lot of food anxiety. So then you're like afraid to eat out, you're afraid to eat anything. So that's really how I got into all of this. I was trying to figure out my own gut and digestive issues.
Right. And like you were saying, at age 18, when you were the only one of your friends doing that, I was very similar, where I was like, why do I have to work so much harder to maintain a body or skin that my friends like? My friends will eat junk and look the same, and I'm like, I could never do that, and it was so frustrating. And I agree with the sense too. I also was failed by Western medicine, where it was just constant. Like, I had really bad cystic hormonal acne, and it was like, go on this pill, go on that pill, and I was just getting failed by it constantly. And then it was like, I have to take things into my own hands and figure it out myself. So you do so much research. I was going to new holistic doctors, doing new practices. So I do think that once you get failed by something, you're like, okay, I guess I have to like do it myself now.
Yeah, good for you. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to do that, and it can be so overwhelming, you know, especially when you feel like you're trying everything and it's not working. But there's always something deeper going on. So, yeah.
What were some symptoms that you were feeling even at the age of 18 where you were like, okay, this is something that might just be deeper than eating something inflamed?
Yeah. I would say like feeling really bloated and looking really distended, like that 4 to 6 months pregnant look, even after eating healthy food. So what I say to people is like, you know, if you are feeling that bloated after drinking like 3 beers and like having 3 slices of pizza, I would say that's kind of more normal, you know, every once in a while, not a huge deal. If you are looking and feeling really bloated, maybe you have to like unbutton your pants at the end of the day, or it's getting to the point where you're like packing extra outfits just in case your stomach really flares when you travel. That was me, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
me too.
it's like my feel good outfit, like the one I want to wear. And then like
the dinner outfit versus the bar outfit.
Yes. Like, and kind of like altering your life. Like that's when we know that we've got a deeper gut issue going on. So it was like eating very healthy wasn't working. I would, oh my gosh, at one point I like lost my period for 2 years.
Wow.
I was dealing with like insomnia. I had my first panic attack. I mean, and then I was developing more and more food sensitivities. So it was like more foods I was reacting negatively to. And then I would travel and I would be constipated for like a week.
Wow.
And it's horrible. I mean, it's like truly, truly an awful feeling. And that is like, that changing has changed my whole life. You know, now it's like, you don't have to fear traveling. You can feel good when you travel and move around. So that's kind of what I was experiencing, which is a lot of the clients that we see. It's gonna fit that like typical IBS picture, right? Like, oh, you have IBS, we don't really know what to do. Meanwhile, you're like bloated, constipated, diarrhea, stomach pain, reflux, that kind of stuff.
Well, the period thing is really scary too. I feel like that makes you question, like, is this even just my stomach? Because now when I go to this holistic doctor, and she says like everything's intertwined. So it's like your gut and your hormones, they're going to affect each other. So if one's off, the other one's going to be off no matter what. And I struggled with that a lot, where I was like, I don't know if it's hormones, I don't know if it's gut, but it could just be one, and now the other one's being affected. And I think as women, fearing your body is one of the scariest and like saddest things to go through, because it's like sometimes I'll be like scared to go on a walk by myself because I'm like, oh, I feel really fatigued. What if I just like pass out on my walk? You know what I mean? Like it's just fears like that people don't really understand unless they also feel that way. And I just think that fear of your body is such a hard thing to go through for a woman.
Yeah, and like we have enough to deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we already have menstrual cycles. Our hormones are fluctuating all the time. Like we've got enough to deal with. We don't need these extra stressors of like, am I gonna pass out? You know, am I gonna need to run to the bathroom and I won't be able to get to one?
Right.
Like we don't need those additional stressors.
Yeah. And did you start with, so when you were having these symptoms, did you start with a Western approach?
Yeah, I mean, no one really knew what to do, you know? So it was kind of just like, you're just stressed. You know, I was told I was just stressed. I was just anxious. I overthink. I worry too much, which like those things, there's truth to those things. But it was kind of like your typical IBS picture. And I was young and healthy. And, you know, I mean, at one point I had a functional doctor tell me I had high cortisol, which is really the result of other stuff. I mean, it's not really a root cause of anything, you know? And she also just told me to lose weight. I was like, thanks so much for your help. This was so helpful.
Right.
And it didn't really address anything. So I had kind of tried the Western route. I had like gone to see a functional doctor. I think she was a chiropractor, which there's like nuance to all of this, you know, and no one could really like, oftentimes I think you go in and you're just given a bunch of supplements and then you walk out and you don't really have a plan. You just have a bunch of supplements that cost you $500 and you don't really know why you're taking them or what you're doing with them. And that's kind of where I was, and it still wasn't working, you know? So then it was like, I did a lot of, research, and a lot of these like functional medicine doctors in this space talk about elimination diets and taking out gluten and dairy and sugar and soy and all of that. So I really dove into that, and I was finding a little bit of relief, but not enough, you know. It would make me feel maybe 10-20% better, but nothing was really truly moving the needle. So that's when I was like, there's got to be something else going on that's not even just about food.
Did you kind of like do it yourself, or was there a holistic doctor that changed your life?
I kind of did it myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I went and became a holistic health coach, but I will say, I mean, the work that we do today is like so far beyond that and what I learned there. So I really just started researching and taking additional trainings, like lots of functional medicine influenced and inspired trainings, a lot of like trainings on functional digestive health, how digestion actually works, what's going on in the gut microbiome. I mean, it's still a newish science, and it was still very new. I mean, like 10 years ago when I got started, you know? So yeah, I kind of figured it out on my own and learned from some really amazing people along the way.
That's so cool. I feel like also experts normally do teach themselves, and like that's why they're so good at what they do. My holistic doctor was actually a nurse for like 20 plus years, and she was always complaining about the same symptoms over and over again, especially like there were like a lot of thyroid symptoms.
Yeah.
So she kept getting her blood work done. It kept coming back clear. They're like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. All of a sudden it was stage 4 thyroid cancer. Yeah.
No.
And she was like, I told you guys, like, she was like, a woman knows her body. I told you guys so long. She left the medical field. She was like, I'm going to figure this out myself. And she cured her own stage 4 thyroid cancer.
Wow.
On her own, just through holistic practices, energy, like figuring out what her body liked, what it didn't like. I've done like energy tests with her to like see what, oh my God, it's my favorite thing ever. Yeah. I love it. But yeah, so she completely healed herself. And so she left the medical field, and now she does her own practice with holistic care. And it's like, also, I don't know if every state is different. I don't know if this is a U.S. thing, but like I know that in a lot of states you're not allowed to necessarily practice holistic care on patients, which I didn't know was a thing. Like a lot of holistic doctors keep themselves low key because they're not technically allowed to be doing that.
Yeah, there's nuance to it. So based on your kind of credentials, like MDs have to be licensed in the state. You know, it's like a functional medical doctor has to be licensed in the state to provide care. I don't know the nuances when it comes to like a PA versus a nurse practitioner versus an RN or anything like that. That's why we really practice like functional health coaching, but we can also run functional labs, but we don't like diagnose or treat disease. And that is, well, we're not medical doctors, but also because, you do have to be mindful of that kind of thing. So
it's kind of scary too, like the wording you have to be careful with too.
Yeah.
Because even like there's a farm not too far from my house that sells like, they have a farm, so they have cows, everything, so they sell milk, yogurt, eggs, but they're not allowed to label it. They have to label it for dogs and cats. They're not allowed to label it it's for humans.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I just don't get into any of that, you know, but yeah, I mean, I have like women on my team have certain training, but we provide and offer functional health coaching.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about lifestyle when it ties in with your health too. You lived in New York City, which we're in New York City right now.
Yeah.
But you now live in North Carolina. So I want to talk a little bit about the adjustment that you had, if you saw any differences in your mental and physical living there versus where you live now. Because I always make comments about living in one of the Carolinas. I'm not going to lie to you. The houses are better there. The land is better there.
Yeah. Night and day. I mean, I remember when I first moved here, I was also, it was 10 years ago, so I was a lot younger, and I didn't have all of the knowledge that I have today, but I don't think it would suit me today either. And now I'm like, oh, I have choice, so I don't need to do that, and I have nothing to like prove. But I think when you're 21 or 22, it's like you're kind of trying to like prove that you can do it. But yeah, I mean, this city is, if you want to talk energetics, like this city is high energy, high stimulation, constant noise, constant buzzing. And I remember hearing once someone say, when you walk down the street, you're bumping up against everyone else's goals and dreams, right? So it's like, which is part of what makes, I think, New York City amazing and like hard to replicate, but I also think it's a very intense energy. And I personally, as like a type A Capricorn, I don't need more like work hard energy. I need slow down.
You need to be forced to slow down
and get quiet and like stare at the wall, So I actually remember when I was here, I'd get sick. I mean, for the first probably 6 months that I lived here, I was sick every weekend. Yeah. And I just like, I would be out with a cold every single weekend. And I remember I went to an acupuncturist. Gosh, I mean, it was kind of a while ago at this point. It's interesting to like reflect on, but I went in and saw him, and he was literally like, you have to close your eyes more. Like I was just so overstimulated by everything. And, there's sirens and there's noises and all of that. And I just think that in today, like living in modern day, we are so hyper connected and overstimulated nonstop. And what that's doing is it's just putting us in that sympathetic dominant nervous system state, which is not supportive of our overall health, especially our gut health. And I can get into specifics there if you want, but it's like, it's not going to, our bodies can't repair when we're in that sympathetic dominant state. So for me, as someone who's a bit more sensitive to what's around me, it wasn't serving my health. I need more nature. I need more green. I need less noise.
Yeah, I agree. And I liked the way you said, like, it's overstimulating. Like, it really is. And I love how I have the balance of, like, the days I'm in New York, I have no choice but to be like, go, go, go. Like, can't be like strolling in the street, like snapping. Like, no, it's like, get to where you have to be, do what you have to do. And like today, like, even I was like rushing to the coffee shop, and I'm like, why am I rushing? It was like 12:07. I was like, my interview's an hour from now. Like, why am I rushing? It's just, the city makes you rush. And then like once I get home in Jersey, I'm like, like, it's quiet. I hear the birds chirping. Like, you get to kind of like reset your nervous system. Whereas if you do live in New York, I think it's constantly go, 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 unless you have sources where you can be relaxed. But I do want you, I know you said you can like dive deep, to talk a little bit about how that affects your gut.
Yeah. So, when we're talking about taking like a true root cause approach to chronic digestive issues and gut issues, we work with clients through a lot of like microbial imbalances and maldigestion patterns. So like low stomach acid or gut dysbiosis or candida overgrowth or parasitic infections and all that kind of stuff. And all of those are more physical imbalances that we can absolutely help women through. And like we see them get their health like completely 180. It's really truly amazing work. And also, if we really want to take a root cause approach, we have to ask, how did we get there? Like, what allowed for the dysbiosis to take place? What decreased our gut immune function to allow for the infection to take place? Why do we have low stomach acid in the first place? More of these kind of more physical imbalances. And oftentimes it's years of chronic stress, right? So not just one stressful day, but kind of go, 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 burning the candle at both ends, under eating, over exercising, being overstimulated, never turning off for years. And over time, that's going to have us in that chronic stress response that's then going to lead to more physical gut imbalances. So I often say, like, stress doesn't stay stress. It impacts the body. It has physiological impacts on the body. So when we're in that sympathetic dominant state, we are going to produce more cortisol. we're going to release corticotropin releasing hormones. So that is kind of going to signal that release of cortisol, and that hormone can also poke holes in the gut lining or that intestinal barrier, which can then cause leaky gut. Blood flow when we're stressed, it's going to go away from the GI organs. It's also going to impact the vagus nerve, which connects the gut and the brain, and that vagus nerve directly impacts stomach acid production, enzyme secretion, bile flow, gut motility. So it's like that stress, it doesn't stay psychological, emotional, mental stress. It starts to impact the gut physically, and our hormones will take a hit, and all of that. I mean, thyroid hormone, progesterone, all of those things will be impacted when we're just existing in that chronically stressed out state. So it really becomes physical as we're in that sympathetic dominant or that chronic stress or fight or flight state. What else will happen? I mean, like I said, blood flow will go away from the GI organs, so things can't repair at the rate at which they normally do. We'll get that suppression of our gut immune function, and basically your gut lining, like we have this epithelial barrier. So there's like a cellular layer and then a mucosal layer. We don't have to get too into the weeds with that, but the cellular layer, you know, it's always self-repairing. However, when we're in that chronically stressed out state, it's not going to be able to actually repair. So it's like your gut lining is self-healing, but it can't heal like it's supposed to if we're chronically stressed. So there's like many different mechanisms through which chronic stress causes gut issues.
It's so crazy how all of it can be stemmed from stress.
Yeah.
Like, actually crazy. So I go to acupuncture right now too, and I have horrible neck pain. Yeah, I love acupuncture too. Yeah. Horrible neck pain, like worst headaches ever. And I'm like, I didn't like when she felt my back and like was like feeling everything, she's like, were you in a car accident? And I was like, no. And she was like, why? She was like, you are so tight, because women hold stress like in their shoulders and traps. She goes, why are you so stressed out? And I was like, it doesn't necessarily mean that something in your life has to be stressing you out. It could just be like, I'm just a stressed person. If I have a very easy day, at the end of the day, I'm like, what can I be stressed about today? Like, what can I like cause me like that overstimulation today? And it's such a horrible habit. And so many of the terms you were saying, I'm recognizing, because I went to a new doctor yesterday and she was talking about all this stuff. And I've been reading this new book called The Holistic Guide to Gut Health, I believe it's called. So I'm like kind of learning. I'm actually getting all my blood work done tomorrow to kind of like get to the root cause of like what's going on. So like the thyroid, it's like a full thyroid panel, I think, and then like all that stuff.
That's great. Yeah, the gut and the thyroid, or like gut influences thyroid.
Because I have all these weird symptoms, and I'm like, I don't know what it's stemming from, and I do think a lot of it could be stress, but I'm like, okay, well, what is this stress causing? And I think so many women, especially listening to the show, probably have so many symptoms that they kind of choose to ignore, because it's like, well, you got through the day. Yeah. But then it gets to a point where you're like, okay, no, like, I don't want to live my life like this. When you started taking these holistic practices to better your life, when did you realize this could also be a business where I can help other women?
So quickly. I mean, I wanted to do that anyway. Yeah. It feels very much like this is what I'm here to do, like that. I feel that very strongly, which I'm so grateful for. And I really started coaching women first on just like getting healthier, you know? And then I very quickly heard women say the same thing over and over again, which was, I walk into the doctor's office, I walk out crying. They tell me I'm just stressed. They tell me to relax. They tell me I'm just anxious. And I'm dealing with this bloating and nothing's helping it go away. And now I'm scared to eat at this point. So it was very clear that there was like a need for someone who is willing to dig deeper and put in the work. And it is more work, you know. It's like when you go in to see your traditional doctor, you have 5 minutes. I mean, there's like, I mean, I don't want to go too down that rabbit hole, but like, there's just no way they know what's actually going on.
They don't ask you the questions that needs to be. Yesterday I sat with an hour and a half of questions.
Exactly. So it's a completely different model of care. I mean, it's completely different, and we don't replace a medical doctor, and I don't play a doctor on TV, but it's like we listen and we get so much more background, so we can actually help to support your health at a root cause level versus just like having 3 to 5 minutes with you. And honestly, you can't really even blame doctors for that. It's like the model itself is broken. But it was very apparent that someone needed to come in and be willing to dig deeper for all of these women. And I was just getting really pissed. Like I would get pissed when I'd hear these women's stories being like just totally gaslit, you know? And one of my clients, like so early on, was like, she went into the doctor and looked 6 months pregnant with bloating. And then the doctor heard that she was planning her wedding. And he was like, oh, you're fine. You're just like stressed from your wedding. Meanwhile, she had small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I'm just like, this is so inappropriate. It's just like, I'm like, no. So
yeah, and that's like something that made me just deal with my symptoms for so many years, because every time I would go to the doctor, you're stressed, you're anxious, this, that. And then I'd be like, okay, well, like, I just kept dealing with it. It was like 2-3 years of dealing with it, where now I'm at a point where it's like, no, this is really affecting me, to the point where like you don't feel like yourself anymore.
No, it's horrible. Yeah,
it's horrible. Like I'm constantly like snappy or rude or like low patience, and I'm like, I don't want to feel the things I feel, so like why am I acting this way? And it's literally because when your hormones are affected as a woman, your mood's gonna be affected, like the way you act, the things you think, like it's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's like you don't, what I want every woman to understand is like you don't have to live this life feeling like you're battling your body.
Yeah.
That's how I used to feel. It was like I'd wake up and I would immediately wonder, how is my body going to react today? How's my stomach going to react today? How can I micromanage every little thing that I do so I can minimize the pain and the flares in whatever way possible? It's like if I only eat this, or if I pack my own snacks, or if I bring all these supplements, or if I do all this. And I love supplements, I love healthy food, all of that, but it's like it's this hypervigilance. And then what we don't realize is that hypervigilance leads to more gut issues. But when you're in the thick of it, you feel like you have to over control everything. And what I really needed to do was like let go and just like figure out some root causes. But it's not a fun way to live, waking up wondering if you're gonna feel good that day.
Yeah, I know. Since you've been in this field now for like over a decade, is there anything you've seen a rise in recently?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like scare people, but I do think people are sicker now.
I agree. I don't know one girl that doesn't have a stomach issue.
I can't go anywhere. And like, I love it. I'll talk about it all day long. But I can't go to my nephew's birthday party without someone pulling me aside. I mean, it's like, it's everywhere.
Right.
And
I have one friend who's like a nurse, and every time I don't feel good, I'm like, let me text her and see what's wrong.
Oh, I get the texts. I get the something questions, and I'm happy to do it. But I do think people are more sick. Without getting like too into the weeds with it, I do think COVID impacted people. Like, right. I think there's many reasons why people are more sick in general, but I think COVID, whether it was the virus itself, the vaccine, or both, honestly, and then the huge amount of stress that came with that too, of like, am I gonna get it? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna give somethone else? Right. Like that. Think about, and then we're like isolating, we're not in community. I do think that took quite the toll on people's health, and we're seeing a lot of like histamine overload in people. So there's a big rise in like MCAS, like mast cell activation syndrome. There's a big rise in this histamine intolerance or histamine overload picture, which makes people really reactive to a lot, like really sensitive. It can increase anxiety, it'll increase bloating, diarrhea, rashes, migraines. So I would say that's something that we've seen a lot more of. And then mold, which is like kind of another topic, but
I've
mold
been hearing
illness,
a lot about mold recently, like in the walls, right? Like of your house. I've like to the point where anytime I see a mark on the wall, I'm like, I have my eye on you in case you're mold.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Like, I do feel like COVID affected the way people are mentally too, which might have affected their physical, but I also think it made everyone a little bit more woke on like what's going on with their body, or being more like hyper aware of what's going on. Like I know for me, I kind of started my health journey during COVID because I was like, all right, I have the time now to like actually eat clean. I was going on, like, I was doing 20K steps a day because there was nothing else to do. And that's when I really started getting into like more holistic stuff and like less Western stuff.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to the girl? Because I'm sure there's so many girls listening, including myself, fairly healthy, eats pretty good, works out multiple times a week, journals, and still doesn't feel like herself.
Yeah. It's really, we just have to like kind of nail down on some of these deeper root causes, you know? So that was me. I mean, I was eating healthy. I was trying to meditate. I was like listening to the Headspace app. It was like, it did help me, but I mean, it didn't solve my digestive issues, but it helped in other ways. I exercised all the time. And this was like before these like clean beauty exploded, where it was like, if you want a non-toxic mascara, you're going to like Whole Foods. I mean, none of this stuff even existed then. And there was like one almond milk on the market, which sounds like I'm older than I I am. But I mean, it's just like exploded in the last decade. I mean,
like the fact that you even started 10 years ago, I'm like, this was a thing 10 years ago.
I know. I mean, gut health research was really just coming about. But yeah, it's I think there's so many things that can lead to these chronic health issues, and it doesn't mean that you're broken or there's anything like terribly wrong with you. You just need to get your body the right support. And that's really all that it comes down to. And you probably just haven't been given the right strategy yet, you know, because a lot of the times as soon as we embark on this health journey, we start taking foods out, we start exercising more, and we kind of like, we amp up the restriction which what we see a lot of women need is actually a lot more nourishment. We need more nutrients, we need to eat more, we need to eat more protein, we need to rest more. So it's like we just kind of have to tweak and understand what's causing your chronic gut issues or hormone issues or whatever. And once we address those root causes, things are going to start to fall back into place.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of women try to do everything at once.
Yeah.
Like, so they'll be like, you know, let's say you wake up at like 11 a.m. every day and you're like, the next day I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to journal. I'm going to do my lemon water. And it's like, you're not going to stay consistent. You're going to burn out so easily.
Yeah.
And I think another thing too with gut health is when someone signs up for your program and they start talking to you, it's like they have to like, it's kind of scary to go into. Like even yesterday for my appointment, I was like, okay, like after I come out of this, I have to be disciplined. Like I actually have to put in the work now.
Yeah.
So do you get a lot of people that kind of like join your program and then kind of lay off? Because I know also, I was telling Hannah, I was just listening to one of her podcast episodes and she was talking about how procrastination comes from fear of having to take those next steps or something not working out. Do you feel like you have a lot of clients like that?
Yeah. I mean, we do. I feel fortunate that a lot of our clients are quite self-motivated because I mean, unfortunately, we see them after they've tried so much. I mean, I think we're the last stop on the train for a lot of people, and I wish we could catch people 5 to 10 years earlier, truthfully. But a lot of people will explore the Western medical route and give that a good go and a good run before kind of exploring something else, which I get too. But so I'd say by the time people see us, they're kind of ready. Like they literally can't do it anymore.
Right.
However, it's really being motivated by pain versus like by possibility. So I would love for people to be motivated by just like possibility and feeling great versus getting out of feeling really bad. But that's kind of how humans work, right? Like we usually won't change something until it gets bad enough that we finally go, we can't do this anymore. Yeah. I wish we could catch people when they just like want to optimize their health, you know, and we'll get the rare client like that. Or clients who want to like optimize for pregnancy or they want to feel really good for their wedding. Like we'll get some of those, but oftentimes it's when people are they've hit their like rock bottom, like they literally can't do it anymore. So they're quite motivated there. But yes, I mean, I like to be very transparent when it comes to this like truly root cause work and the fact that it's not a 7-day thing. I mean, it takes like our programs are 4 to 6 months long, you know, and we can get someone feeling honestly so significantly better in a good 3 months. Sometimes it takes 6 months, and there's so many different factors that come into play when we're looking at that timeline. Sometimes it takes a little longer. So it's easy to get a little like off track during that time or discouraged during that time, you know, because it doesn't happen overnight. Whereas, you know, if you take something like an Advil, I mean, you should feel less pain in like 30 to 45 minutes, you know? So it's a totally different approach, but we're also not slapping Band-Aids on things
That's what it's literally a temporary fix. Like putting it, like I'm like, I don't take Advil when I'm on my period.
Yeah.
It's like the only way I will ever take an Advil is if it's day one and I have to be somewhere. Otherwise, I will sit on my couch in pain.
Yeah.
Like I won't like fall down to taking that. Like and like my boyfriend will always get mad. He'll be like, just take the Advil. I'm tired. I'm like, no, give me a heating pad and let me get through it. Like I'm like, I won't. Like, cause then. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I used to take it all the time for, like, sports. And now that I'm, like, in this new era of, like, knowing my body more, I'm like, I just hate the temporary fix. Yes, it's period cramps, so those are temporary. But I just don't want to get my body used to it. Because I dealt with acne for 10 years of my life. Like, to the point where, like, I didn't want to leave my house because I hated the way my skin looked. Makeup wouldn't cover it. And I was, like... every birth control, spironolactone, like they wanted to put me on Accutane. My mom was like, absolutely not. She's not going on Accutane. So I didn't go on it. And then after like 3 years of still breaking out, my mom was like, do you want to go on it? And I was like, no, like, let me figure something else out. I cut gluten out for 1 year. I was like, let me kind of like deflame my body. Cut gluten out for a year, limited dairy. My skin was clear. And like,
that's great.
Even now, I think also just aging, like, I started getting acne when I was 14 and now I'm 25. So like I think it just kind of grew out of me.
Yeah.
But I do also think like lowering my stress, figuring out what foods were inflammatory and kind of removing them helped me a lot. Do you follow any strict diets?
Personally,
Yeah. Not strict, but like, do you not eat a certain thing?
I don't eat a ton of gluten.
Okay.
You know, I used to not be able to eat any dairy at all. It would cause really bad digestive issues, headaches. I would break out. I get like keratosis pilaris, so that would like flare my like the bumps on my arms. Now I can tolerate it just fine, and that was really after a lot of that deeper gut work. I don't eat a lot of like ultra processed food, you know, so I'm mindful of the quality of the food that I eat, and I try to make sure I'm eating enough protein and plant foods like veggies and fruits and things like that. Big emphasis on fiber for gut, but I'm not afraid to go out and like get a burger and fries and a martini,
Right.
you know, and
like enjoy yourself.
yeah, it's really like that's what I want for all of our clients. Not that I'm endorsing drinking alcohol,
Right.
but it's like I want you really take care of your health so you can enjoy your life and go live it, not so you can just maintain this super restrictive approach forever, you know. So yeah, I minimize gluten. We don't really see that doing anyone any good, honestly. Dairy, we see clients be able to reintroduce it and tolerate it just fine over and over and over and over again after the deeper gut work. I more so try to focus on making sure I'm getting in enough of the good stuff versus peeling out a bunch of stuff.
I like that a lot, because that's one thing that I was fearing a lot was, oh my God, now that I go to this doctor to make these changes, am I going to have to be restrictive?
Yep.
So I feel like that's something that I was always scared about, because I was like, I don't want to miss out, because when I did no gluten for a year, it's like I missed out on some dinners, or like I had to kind of like wait longer for my food, and it was just kind of like inconvenient, and I was like, I don't want to live my life like this. So do you normally recommend to your clients to do a cleanse and then they can ease back into it?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, honestly. So when we run functional stool testing, we run functional stool testing on really all of our clients, and that's how we're going to see what's going on in the gut microbiome. Bacteria, fungi, yeast, parasitic infections, bacterial infections, maldigestion patterns, gut immune function, all of that stuff. We get such great data with it. And one of the markers that we also check for, it's called anti-gliadin IgA, and that's really showing us if your immune system is mounting a response to gluten. So for some people who are actively really reacting to it, it's going to be better to take it out more long term. Some people will probably be able to get away with it a little easier in small amounts, you know. So we really like I want to flip the whole narrative on its head and just let everyone know that like taking out loads and loads of foods from your diet, it's not going to heal your gut. What we want to do is we want to go in there and want to see what's going on in your gut microbiome, and can you actually digest your food, and then you'll be able to tolerate more foods with less pain. So it's like the restrictive diets can help a little bit, right? But at what cost and to what extent? And then it's like, can you live your life like that? What I want to do is I want to support your digestive function. I want to rebalance your gut microbiome. I want to support your gut barrier so you can then tolerate more of these foods and live your life more freely. So it's like, that's my big beef with functional medicine is as soon as you Google like gut issues, you're going to get elimination diet.
Yeah.
And I lived on an elimination diet for years. I mean, I kid you not, I probably didn't touch gluten or dairy for like close to 10 years. Like,
wow.
Nope. And I just like, I couldn't, you know, I was like trying to heal my gut so bad, and it never fully worked, you know. I had low stomach acid, I had dysbiosis, I had really low secretory IgA. There's all this other stuff I had to take a look at, and as soon as I did that, I could tolerate these foods better. So there's a time and place. Like nutrition, it's so important. Eating healthy is so important. I think we all know that at this point. But for those people that are hearing this and they're like, I already do all that. Like I don't eat gluten, I don't eat dairy, I'm trying my best, I eat clean, and my digestion still sucks. Like we just have there's just deeper gut issues present, and once we address those, you'll have more freedom with your diet.
Right. I want to ask, because I know you brought up fiber a few minutes ago. I want to ask if this is a myth or not, because I see it all over social, and I'm the biggest veggie eater. I love vegetables, but I only really like them raw. Is that actually bad for me?
No, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's bad for you. You know, if you feel okay after eating them, then I think you're fine.
Well, like if you I do bloat a little bit.
Yeah, and there's nuance to that too. I mean, if you eat some, like we'll see clients, they can't eat any vegetables or they look pregnant with bloating, right? That's like, we have dysbiosis. We need to address that.
Yeah.
If you're eating like a bunch of broccoli and you feel a little bit more bloated, I would honestly say that's somewhat normal.
Okay.
But cooking your veggies can help you
digest it better.
Yeah.
So if you struggle with digestion, you probably should go the route of cooking them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would aim for more cooked food in general, like warming cooked food that's easier to digest. The fibers are broken down a little bit versus like tons of like huge raw salads.
Yeah. I have like 2 raw salads a day. Like it's my favorite thing. Like I'm always craving a cucumber with like lemon and salt. Like it's actually my favorite thing to eat. But when it comes to fruit, I'm not the biggest fruit girl, but like this morning, for example, I had apples from the farm, so I like put it on the stove with some coconut oil and cinnamon.
Yeah.
And I will say it did make me feel a little bit better than just eating like a raw apple.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, it might be true.
Well, that's where like food energetics kind of plays a role. It's like these warming foods are like soothing, they're more grounding, versus raw foods are kind of airy, which that may sound a little woo-woo to some people, but I do like factor that in. But cooking apples, like apples are full of pectin, and when you stew apples, you can really like access the pectin that's in them. That's a great fiber and can act as a binder to help move toxins out of the body. So it's really great for the gut. Like stewed apples, cooked apples with cinnamon and coconut oil is like really amazing for the gut.
Amazing. Do you do any like at home, like make your own milks or butters or anything like that?
I don't make butter. Okay. I wish I could make butter.
It's really easy. You definitely can. I've made it before, so you definitely can.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had the time. I like, I try to be realistic with clients too. I'm like, listen, I'm not in the kitchen homemaking all this stuff. I'm like on calls all day and helping people. So, so I have little hacks, but I do make my own nut milk. Yes. Just because it's like so easy and it's so much cheaper and better than getting it from the store. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about your program and your business and just the business side of you. So you started this business how many years ago?
I officially incorporated the business in 2019.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. And it was just you?
Just me.
And did you do outreach through Instagram, through social media, or was it like a website, blog?
Yeah. Originally, it was really Instagram and like local. I mean, it was like grassroots, local, on the ground, and it's had many iterations. So when I first got started, it was like just general health coaching, and I also like I'm like a group fitness instructor, which I don't have time for anymore. But it was so fun. Yeah. It was like such a party.
You look like a Pilates like instructor. You actually do.
Well, when I lived in New York, I would work with this company called Dance Body, and like I auditioned for them and I got the job, but I sprained my ankle so bad, so I couldn't like train with them. But it was so much fun. So shout out Dance Body. It was so much fun. And it's like dance, not Pilates, but dance like sculpting. But it's hardcore, and if you like to dance, it's like fantastic cardio. But so I used to do that, and then I really had this like private chef element to the business too, and that's really what got things off the ground. We'd go in and we'd cook healthy food for people, and I was able to hire one of my dear friends and get her out of like the restaurant life, which it's a rough life to work in restaurants. Right. So that was really great. And it was very cool because we were cooking all this like delicious gut healthy food for people. And like my first client lost like 65 pounds,
wow.
without even trying, because she's just eating the food that we were making. And all of her blood work markers were improving. So that was really cool. And that's really was at the beginning of this, and that allowed me to kind of spend the time to get the business off the ground, kind of virtually, digitally, online, and all of that, but like pay my bills while doing that.
Right. That's so amazing. So now it's obviously your full-time job. Now is it kind of like, do you feel like you lost any opportunity leaving New York?
No.
Well,
I mean, maybe, but I honestly think you can build it from anywhere.
Yeah, because it's online.
It's completely online. Digital. Yeah, my team's all over. I mean, like I have team members all over the U.S. and we see people all over. We see people in U.S., Canada, countries in Europe. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, and some people even like come to the States to get the testing from us and then go back to like Honduras, and like we can like help them.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
How
pretty
has it
wild.
grown? Like what did you kind of start with, like your clientele, and what is it now?
I mean, we see hundreds of people a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to drop specific numbers, but it's a full, I mean, it's like other people's full-time jobs,
Right. So for anyone listening, who's someone listening that should go on and look at your program?
Anyone I speak a lot to women because we see a lot of women, but we always have like the one to two guys in the program. Right. So we'll help anyone that needs help. But the woman that's really like struggling with chronic digestive issues, and they're impacting her day to day, and they're sucking her joy away, and they're making her scared to travel, and she's finding herself restricting, and she's finding herself scared, and she's finding herself packing the extra outfits when she takes her trips. Or, I mean, I remember, but when I was dealing with it, like vacation wasn't even vacation anymore. It was like, how am I going to feel? How am I going to flare? Will I be able to enjoy myself, you know? And now it's like I can go travel and my stomach doesn't dictate my everyday, which is something I didn't even know was possible for me, honestly, because I was like the girl that always had to work harder than everyone else at her health. And now I can just like be more chill with it, which is like truly so amazing. I couldn't have built this business if I was dealing with all this. Like it takes up so much headspace. So for the woman that's feeling like she's tried altering her diet, she's eating healthy, she's eating clean, she's trying to exercise, and she's still like bloated, exhausted, really painful periods, sluggish thyroid function, breakouts, acne. I mean, we have a whole clear skin program. One of the women on my team is like really specifically trained in the gut skin connection. She's really good at that work, and she mentored under Dr. Julie Greenberg, who's like a fantastic naturopathic medical doctor or medicine doctor that specializes in this. So we've got like, and she's the woman on my team, she's also a licensed esthetician. So we build out topical and internal protocols for the skin issues. So it's really cool. So we can help. We do have a full skin program too. But yeah, I mean, this is a woman who like feels like she's tried it all. I can pretty much assure you that you haven't, and that should be good. You should feel hope in that, not like try not to feel exhausted by it. There's always something else that can be done, and it doesn't come down to just like taking more foods out of your diet.
Right. What's something that you see a lot of your clients have done in the past to try to heal their gut that you see as a common mistake?
The low FODMAP diet, anti-candida diets, elimination diets for too long, taking a bunch of random supplements, probiotics, like enzymes, kind of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, you know? And that's what I did for years. And I was taking a lot of like good gut healthy supplements, right? Like I was taking fibers and prebiotics and enzymes and probiotics and oregano oil or whatever, and it was helping a little, but I didn't really know what I was dealing with. And that's where the functional lab testing is like a total game changer, because we can come in and we can customize a protocol exactly for what your body needs right now. So instead of going, oh, just take a probiotic because it's good for your gut, I mean, those that have like histamine overload or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or a lot of gut dysbiosis, the probiotic can flare them really bad. It can make them feel worse. So it's not a one size fits all, you know? So it's like, when we just chuck random things at it, that's what a lot of clients have tried. They don't really get anywhere. And then we start to develop the belief of like, we're broken, and you're not. You just haven't had the right strategy yet. So throwing a bunch of supplements at it, lots of restrictive diets, random like cleanses, juice cleanses, things like that.
Yeah, I tried joining like the supplement train a while back, where I was like, whatever works for everybody else I tried taking. And then the past like year, I didn't take any supplements because like I don't want to take things and not actually know if it's doing anything. Because like I remember, I think I was taking, I don't know, it was the vitamin B or vitamin D, and then my pee was like neon, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, and I was like, so clearly I didn't need to be taking that. So I think it's like knowing what your body actually needs, researching it, talking to a specialist, like that's like, I was like, okay, let me take that route instead, so that way I know what my body's actually lacking. Because I feel like we'll just see like an influencer post like, this supplement's been helping me, and we're like, okay, let me go buy that because she looks great, so I also want to look
colostrum.
Great. Yeah, literally, I've been seeing that everywhere, but I haven't tried it yet.
I'm like, their marketing budget is big.
Literally.
That's like all I think when I see it.
Are you part of the coconut cult fandom?
We never recommend it. Like we would never put that in a protocol.
I tried it, and I didn't know if it was doing anything.
I think it's fine. I would not recommend it if you have histamine issues, and I would not recommend it if you have fungal overgrowth or if you have SIBO. Okay. But for your like average person who's not struggling with chronic digestive issues, I think it could be helpful. I would probably need to research a little bit more, but it's not something we've ever put in like a client protocol.
What about CMOS? No. Wait, why? Okay, why? Because I used to take CMOS every day, and I didn't see it doing anything good. Like I didn't do anything for me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think it's so overhyped. These things, it's so wild to watch these things catch fire on social media.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
It is. It actually is very scary. Yeah. And we'll see it like from our seats, you know, and we'll see like one round everyone in the program was eating sourdough, and then the next round everyone's taking this certain probiotic, and then everyone's taking colostrum. Right. And it's so wild to see these like trends play out. And yes, there can be some benefits to some of these trends. I'm not here to like knock all of them, but it's just it's lacking so much nuance. Like it's lacking personalization, customization to your needs. It's like it's different taking a supplement based on how you feel versus taking a supplement based on like actual data and lab work. And there's room for both. I do think, you know, it's not all about the lab work, but that really helps. So CMOS specifically, I'm just like, I don't know how this thing caught.
Me neither, but like, yeah, it is. It's like every time I see something, I'm like, oh, this is working for this person. Let me at least try it, and then it doesn't work, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, over consumerism core, like literally.
I know. Well, I think it feels, and I mean, this happened to me before I kind of like knew what I knew now. It's like if you can buy one supplement that's like $40 and you think it's gonna change your gut health, then it's worth it, right? But what we don't realize is when we do that for 3 years and nothing changes, we're just dumping money on all these supplements and we have no data to support that we actually need these supplements. And we're going to spend more than what we would spend if we just got personalized help.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like where we can take someone's health journey and we can take their we'll see people who have been struggling for 25 years. Like we'll take years of people struggling with chronic digestive issues and we can compress it and shorten it and focus it in because we know what they're actually dealing with and how to address that versus just like taking enzymes, you know?
Do you have a morning lineup
That I take?
Yeah.
You know, I take way less supplements now than I did. In the morning, I always take I'm big on minerals. So I typically put like trace minerals in my water. I always have what we call mineral cocktails. So I'll make like a drink with sodium, potassium, vitamin C, and some magnesium. And that's really supportive of like adrenal function and stress resiliency and things like that. So I'm big on like repletion, right? Versus taking more things out. I do take beef liver sometimes. It's full of like
I bought it. I haven't taken it yet.
yeah, lots of B vitamins, retinol, which is like bioavailable, a form of like vitamin A, bioavailable copper. So it can be great for like energy production, thyroid health. Great if you're feeling like exhausted and burnt out, you know, and it's in a food, like a whole food based form versus a synthetic form, which I do like. I do think an omega-3 is pretty important just because like a lot of people get a ton of exposure to omega-6s and not enough omega-3s. It's very difficult to get enough in like truly through your diet. So I think things like that are helpful. And then I kind of put I put a prebiotic fiber in my coffee. So I try to just get fiber in first thing in the morning.
Interesting.
But not like a ton of supplements or anything like that. And then I always take magnesium at night. That's like the one supplement.
Yeah,
that
I just started taking magnesium at night too.
Yeah.
I get anxious starting to take any supplement. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, is it going to make... I also sometimes get nauseous from supplements. I guess it depends which one.
Yeah.
But I just started I take iron in the morning and I take magnesium at night. And I always like to have collagen. Like I just made a drink this morning. It was 1 scoop collagen, 1 scoop L-glutamine. And then I put like green tea and cinnamon in it or something like that. I don't know. It was like random. But I was like, okay, let me try getting all these supplements in without like... I also started using Baja Gold sea salt. Is that a good brand?
I think so, yeah.
I was using Celtic salt for a while, and then it got, like, recalled or something.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know. I don't remember.
There's also, I think, nuance to this. Like, some people do studies, and then they're like, oh, my gosh, it's full of lead. And I'm like, all of this is naturally occurring, right? Like, no companies are... Whether it's a protein powder or a chocolate, I mean, I would hope, and most of them are not, like, adding heavy metals to this stuff. It's in the soil, you know? So I really don't blame a company like Celtic sea salt, and I think the amounts are so little. Like I think most people are gonna be totally fine with it, honestly. And Baja Gold, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's fine. A lot of people make claims that they have like all of these minerals in it. I'm like, it's mostly sodium. It's really not. I mean, if you really want to replete minerals, you should get another like mineral complex for that. But yeah, it could be a nice addition.
Yeah, I feel like we covered so much today. I was taking so many mental notes. I want to do a little this or that wellness edition.
Yeah.
So I have some things written down that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
You could just kind of do like a little rapid fire. If you choose none, you can say none too.
Okay.
Smoothies or green juices?
Smoothies.
Okay. Kombucha or kefir? Do you know kefir, the probiotic yogurt?
Yeah, probably kefir, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Chia pudding or overnight oats?
I want to put chia seeds in the overnight oats, so I get both.
Oh, interesting. Smart. Sauerkraut or kimchi?
Benefit-wise, same deal. What I prefer is probably sauerkraut.
Love sauerkraut. Warm lemon water or ginger tea?
Both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
Walking or stretching?
I mean, both, but walking. Walking is like, there's so many incredible benefits to
Love
walking.
it. Cooking at home or eating out?
Cooking at home.
Early dinner or late night snack?
I mean, what happens in my real life is probably late night snack. What's
Such
better
a
for
late
your
night
health
snacker.
is probably
I'm
early
such
dinner.
a late night snacker. Yoga or strength training?
I mean, I love them both, but the benefits from strength training, but also yoga. I mean, they're different, and
Yeah.
so add them both in. Like, I think the perfect combo is strength training 3 times a week and yoga once a week. It's
Okay.
like the go-to combo.
Right. Gluten-free bread or sourdough?
Gluten-free.
Breakfast smoothie or eggs and avocado on toast?
Summer smoothie, winter eggs, warm. Not
Are you like a sweet tooth or a...
I used to be, and then something changed, and now I'm salty over sweet,
I
like,
don't
all
like
day.
sweets, like salt all day for me
Yeah.
too. Bone broth or protein shake?
Both, but I do love bone broth. Yeah.
Okay, me too. Fresh fruit or dried fruit?
Fresh fruit.
Early workouts or evening workouts?
Early workouts. I will not do it if I leave it till the end of the day. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm like that too. Journaling or meditation?
I mean, both, but journaling. I think it's very helpful to get, if you're being honest, like get the feelings and the emotions out of the body and onto the page. Like, dump them all onto the page so you're not holding them in your gut or your chest or anything for the rest of the day.
Which one's easier for you to do, journal or meditate?
Journaling.
Journaling?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
I'm
my
like a
brain will
mix.
fight meditation.
Yeah, I feel like I journal more than I meditate too, but I feel like they're both really hard for me to stay consistent with.
Yeah, I think it helps to have some prompts, or just like do a practice where you're just like, anything that you're angry at or feeling weird about or that you're like ruminating on, just like journal it out onto a piece of paper and like literally get it out. I'm a big fan of moving the emotions out of the body, whether it's like dancing, shaking, sighing, exhaling, breathing, journaling. I see that benefit people's health like day in and day out.
Right. What's one piece of advice you want to leave everyone with that's listening to this episode? It could be a quote, it could be something they could do for themselves today, anything.
You're worth prioritizing, and you're not broken. You probably just haven't had the right help yet, and you're totally capable of feeling better and living in a body that you love and you feel at home in.
Yeah, I love that so much. Thank you so much for coming on. Please let everybody know where they can find you, all your sources. I know you have a podcast as well.
Yes, yeah, we launched the Nutritionist podcast this year. It's been very well received, which is like so fabulous.
It's been amazing. I was listening to it. It's really amazing. You're very natural at talking.
I can just talk your ear off.
Yeah.
That's my Gemini rising.
I love it.
But no, it's been great, and as I'm sure you know, it's kind of scary. You're like, is anyone gonna listen to this thing? And people are loving it, so that's fabulous. But it's the Nutrient Dense podcast, and then you can follow me at Hannah Aylward HHC on Instagram, and then the website's just hannahaylward.com. So if you want to like book a free call, chat with me, we can talk about your case, see if you're a good fit to work with us, see how we can help you. That's how you can find me.
Amazing. I'm gonna link everything down below. Definitely make sure you check out all her resources on social and get your gut health checked. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.